Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Five Rings. All right, this is the second video that I'm doing like this. Again, these videos are really just an attempt for me to try to spend some more time with my clients, to give them more information, to reach their goals, to make progress. So today's topic, I'm going to talk about tissues, soft tissues, your muscle, your tendons, the fascia in your body, and specifically how to think about going about making changes and what that really means for you, because a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but everyone, by the way, in this video, I'm actually going to be doing this video while doing my cleans. They kind of go together, doing cleans, the topic of changing your tissues over time. Myself having come from a background of slower, stronger sports, strongman, powerlifting, things like that, before getting really into weightlifting, which is, very fast. You have to be very mobile. So I had to really research and find the best ways to make progress, changing my body from being good at powerlifting, strongman. Now I'm trying to be good at something completely different. It's not just a matter of showing up to the gym and doing the exercises. You have to change the tension, essentially the shape of your muscles, your soft tissue, your body, and that takes some time. And you want to go about doing it in a smart manner so you don't get injured. So let me get this next set in, just keeping it light, nothing impressive, not trying to prove anything to anybody. So, getting back on it, everybody who comes here, they come in having lived a certain lifestyle. Whether that's an office worker sitting at a desk all day, right? A housewife, stay-at-home mom, athlete of a previous sport, what have you. Everybody walks in through these doors having lived their life in a certain manner. And everybody walks through these doors wanting to make a change to their body in some form or fashion. For a lot of these people, the progress that they want to see, even if it's just general population wanting to make better body composition changes, a lot of these people need to consider managing how to change their soft tissue over time. The reason why I say it's important even for general population looking for body composition changes is the more exercises you have available to you, the greater the range of motion, the better the results you're going to get in your exercises. So let's take it to the extremes. You can imagine if somebody's very tight, they can only do exercises in a short range of motion, and that's their entire workout, versus somebody who has mobility, right, can move through exercises with a full range of motion. They're going to get more out of that same exact exercise because they're moving their body more through space, right? It's not hard to understand. Well, if you extrapolate that over an entire workout, an entire month, several months, right, that's going to equate up to a lot of extra distance traveled with weight in those workouts versus the person who is not trying to manage and change their soft tissues for better mobility, better strength, better performance in their workouts. Plus, it leads to a more pain-free lifestyle outside of the gym when you're just doing your thing, living your life, right? If you're tight and painful all the time, it's not good for anything. So, the things that people need to consider changing and managing their soft tissue is, one, what's their history? What kind of, okay, I'm going to use a word I use here in the gym a lot. The word is tensegrity, and just very simplistic for the sake of this conversation, when I say tensegrity, I'm referring to the balance of tension in a system, right? So if we have, let's say, two rubber bands and they're attached to each other on both ends, if this one pulls tight, this one gets stretched. If this one pulls tight, this one gets stretched. All right, the play between those two rubber bands is what I'm referring to here as tensegrity. You can imagine how much more complex it gets in the human body when you have primary and when you have muscles working with and against each other on different sides of the body, right? So you need to consider the history that you're coming in here from, because that's going to paint the picture and point the direction on where you need to go, okay? It's going to give you some priorities. It's going to give me some insight as to what to start telling you what to do for your stretches, for your exercises, maybe some exercises to stay away from, right? Because if you are always in this forward shoulder posture, head forward position, right? We may want to stay away from things that contract and move the body in that manner, just making all of this even tighter. Maybe stay away from hip flexor work, maybe stay away from quadricep work, I'm not really sure, but these are some things to consider. I'm going to get this next set in. Okay, so we've considered your history, right? Your soft tissue history, if you want to call it that for this video. And then we have a direction in which to go to meet our new goals. So then we have to devise a plan. We have a plan of action. Now, nobody has looked like they were filled with excitement when I said, you need to go home and do a stretching routine, right? I don't know why, but nobody seems to like that, being told that. But the fact of the matter is that, you know, most people walk in here with a lifetime history of using their body a certain way. Maybe not a lifetime, let's not go that far, but 10, 20 years is not a stretch to say, right? Adults who are in their 30s, their 40s, chances are they've been using their body the same way 10, 20 years. And again, that's not a stretch of the imagination at all, right? But you're not wanting to take 10 to 20 years to make a change, right? You want to make a change pretty quickly. So you're going to have to be on top of this routine that we put in place to change those tissues, right? And remember, we are trying to progress the abilities of our soft tissue to enable us to have better workouts, which then again, the more you put in a workout, the more you get out of a workout. All right, so let's keep our focus here while we're doing these things. So when I tell you you have homework and it's 5 to 10 minute stretching routine, doing these stretches, it's not punishment, it's nothing like that. But if you're wanting to make progress in some realistic time frame, right, we need to be on top of making these changes to our body, because here's the other thing you got to understand about soft tissue is that it's not just using your muscles and then leaving it. Your brain is constantly in a feedback loop with your body. So if the only time you try to make a change to your body is when you're here at the gym, let's say you're here for an hour, right? That's a pretty average time for a lot of people. You're in here 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 3 to 4 hours a week, right? How many hours are in a total week, right? And then again, imagine that over a course of a month, over a year, you've used a very small percentage of your time to try and progress yourself towards your goals, and you left a lot of time on the table that you could have been doing some other stuff, right? So again, it's not punishment, but these are things you want to consider doing in your free time if you are serious about making progress. So again, we considered your history. We've come up with a plan of action. We have to stay on top of that plan of action. And then again, I want to circle back around on that note that I said about your brain always being in a feedback loop to your body. You are going to have to make some changes to your lifestyle, right? So again, if you've come to me, you've come to the gym wanting to make a change, and your daily lifestyle has you sitting hunched over a desk, right? And you don't change that, you can't really expect to see any appreciable change going forward. Again, you're using a small percentage of your time in the gym, but stacking that up against the hours and hours and hours you sit at your desk in this forward posture, right? It's like fighting an uphill battle. The saying that I say to you guys all the time here is that if you don't change your environment will change you, right? And change is the name of the game. That's why everybody comes through these doors. They're looking for some kind of change. So we need to bite the bullet. We need to accept responsibility that we have to make some changes to our current lifestyle routines, how we're using our bodies. And now this isn't just the easy example of sitting at a desk. It could be the fact that maybe you need to change your bed. Maybe you need to look into changing your mattress, maybe a pillow. What do you do when you come home at night after work? Are you sitting in a chair or on a couch a certain way? These are habits that you need to identify in your lifestyle that maybe you need to consider changing if you're wanting to see, again, that the progress you want in an appreciable amount of time. I'm going to go ahead and hit this next set. All right. Some other habits to adopt, some things to think about going forward. Your tissues, right? They don't like being dry. They don't like being tight. Hydration is a huge factor for everybody in every facet of performance here in the gym. And really for mobility. You can see when it goes from being warm weather out here and people are used to drinking water because they're sweating, they feel thirsty, they have constant reminders around them all the time to be drinking liquids. As soon as the temperature starts dropping and they're not sweating as much, and then everybody starts complaining of feeling tight, they got strains, they've got all these bad feelings, the joints are tight, and it's really because they stopped drinking the same amount of water. They're still using their body in the same way, but now because the temperature is not reminding them to drink, they dry out. And they're still in here hammering away in their workouts. So hydration can be a big help in changing your soft tissue going forward. Don't neglect that. Use some form of a way to track the amount of water you drink every day. Whether it's putting tally marks on a bottle with a piece of tape, using a journal, using your phone, there are a million ways. You have no excuses on not tracking your water in some form or fashion. The best way that I like to do it is to drink my water out of the same shaker cup and hit a certain number for each day. I know that if I go to the sink to refill up, say 5 times, whatever, I know I've hit my goal. If I'm less than that, I can expect to probably feel some of these dehydration effects. And the thing with dehydration is it doesn't take much to feel a lot, right? So again, hydration, it's important. I'll say it until I die. Some other things you might want to consider, or not consider, but this is a cool little tip. This actually helped me, again, going from the slow, strong sports that I had in my past, trying to get into weightlifting. One trick that I used was I constantly thought about doing the movements. Remember earlier I said that your brain is in a constant feedback loop with your muscles, sending and giving information. Well, your brain will send firing signals to your muscles when you imagine yourself doing a movement, okay? The study that I reference in here all the time to people is that they took 2 groups of people to learn the piano that never played before. One group actually got to touch and play and practice piano like you traditionally would, and then one group was they only let them imagine. They never were able to touch a piano. They showed them how to move their fingers, but again, they never got to actually touch the piano. And up to a certain point, they tracked that both groups made the same amount of progress. And it wasn't until much later that the group who actually had the piano, that they were able to touch it, they started outpacing the other group. But what the study shows us is that you can actually you can start. You don't have to wait till you're in the gym. You don't have to be in the gym. You can continuously make progress by thinking about the movements, thinking about the mobility that you want. I know we don't do yoga here, but if there's a certain yoga pose that you're wanting to hit, thinking about hitting that yoga pose, continuously through the day is going to send it's not only going to send the information to the muscles that you fire and contract to get the pose, but it's also going to send inhibitory signals to the muscles that need to relax to reach those poses, okay? So that's one thing that I did getting into weightlifting was I was watching videos, I imagined doing them, I thought about the cues all the time, and it took some time. I'm not going to say it didn't, but again, I could expect that with years of using my body a certain way. I didn't expect to be good at weightlifting in a month or 3 months. I expected it to take some time, but I definitely will attest to the fact that thinking about the weightlifting movements, especially like overhead squat and snatches, helped progress me quicker than if I had not. Then one last thing, man, I don't know how many times I tell you this to the people here, but you guys all know I'm a licensed massage therapist. I love working with soft tissue. You have incredible resources here. You just need to make the appointment, right? So, I do the fascial stretch therapy here. We can schedule a stretch session. I have nothing but good reviews about FST. I love it myself. It's an incredible tool. I have so many modalities that I'm not going to even cover them all, but I promise you guys, you have an incredible resource in me in helping manage and progress soft tissues towards whatever goal it is. So again, just to recap real quick, yes, thinking about your soft tissues is important for any of your goals. It's really obvious when your goal is performance, right? You need the stability, you need the mobility, you need the greater range of motion, right? More energy output, more power output. But again, sometimes the general population, you guys aren't thinking about it. You think that all you have to do is show up for the workout. Well, your workouts could be better, and if your workouts were better, you would get better results, right? And this is one of those aspects that you could be, one of those avenues you could be approaching to reach your goals faster and better. So address your history, come up with a plan, execute the plan, think about your water, think about the goals, continuously thinking about the postures, the movements, the exercises that you're wanting to do. Look at videos of them, look at pictures of them, send the feedback loop to your brain and to your muscles. Schedule an appointment with me. I can help you guys out. I'm going to make you sit here and watch me do my, it's not going to be my last set, but it'll be the last set of the video. All right, hope you enjoyed it. See you guys next week.